What's up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the Wise Take MLB DFS podcast. I am your host, CK013. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013, and I am joined once again by one of Wise Take's finest DFS analysts, Mr. Stevie Brown. You can find him on Twitter at Stevie Brown DFS. Stevie, what's happening, bro?
Bro, I'm somewhere in between having to wipe my tears from that Giannis speech still, and trying to hold myself from laughing still from that John Wall speech. But I guess it was a decent night of DFS for me. My cash games did really well, so cashing there. GPP is not the best because I tried to go overweight and then a very chalky Braves and Atlanta Cubs game, where it didn't really work out too well. So. But we have round 2 Wrigley wins tomorrow. Hopefully they treat me a little better tomorrow, and I'll go right back to him, no problem.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I did. I should have a decent night. Heater continues, but nothing huge, but a positive night. I had 2 of my teams actually sucked really bad. I usually stick within 3 to 4 teams nowadays. I like to do MMA once in a while, but for the most part, because of content and all that stuff, the time, it really like 3 to 4 is my bread and butter, and especially 3. And one team is carrying me. I did pick the Toronto Blue Jays as one of my 5-man stacks, which worked out. I actually wanted the Yankees, but I couldn't find a way to make it work in a stack that I like, so I ended up pivoting to Toronto. And the other 2 teams were dedicated to that Wrigley game, which was a complete bust. So it's always nice to have a couple extra teams, to try some things, right, Stevie? More teams is better, right?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that because I me a lot. So
yeah, more teams is better.
Preach that.
But other than that, streak continues. Should have a pretty good night. Hopefully, John Gray can hold on to this win for me. Not really sure why they took Pomerantz out so early, but. Life goes on. On and on into tomorrow's slate, or today's slate for most of you listening. It's big, Stevie. Big one, right?
I mean, it's big, and we have some really appealing names, especially up top. But we were talking pre-show, man. Oh man, we have absolutely zero fucking options down low for some cheap SB2 options. Yeah. I have no idea we're going to go for cheaper options if I want to try to get in some of these bats again tomorrow, where I don't think we have a Yankees line yet, but I'm sure their line's going to come in around like 6.5 again, or at least 6 runs or so. We got big Wrigley wins again. We'll see another 11, 12 run total there. And then we have absolutely no pitching under like 7.5, 7K, 8K on DK to even choose from to get those bats. And then we have Scherzer in an amazing spot too, which is going to be priority. So it's going to be a difficult slate if you want to try to pivot for some bats.
Yeah. I agree. There's a lot of really, really expensive stacks that look enticing, and there are a lot of really good pitchers that look great, but there's really not a ton at the bottom to help you find a good combination. I will say the mid-tier seems kind of strong for tournaments. Not like strong as in that's definitely like, there's some pitchers I love, but strong as in there's options. Whereas once you get down low, like Stevie said, there's just really not a lot to look at. Let's start off with cash games, as we normally do. SP1s, Stevie, normally I would be all over Scherzer. And I talked to you before the show, and Scherzer checks 2 boxes. So box number 1, it is Mad Max Scherzer, right? So he already gets that because of what he is, who he is, right? And then check box number 2 is he's against the Miami Marlins. So he's like, he already off game. The only problem is he's super expensive. And I don't know, there's a lot of expensive bats we're going to want, and it's going to be hard to pair him with anybody reasonable in cash that's cheap and go to war with those bats. So give me your thoughts on Scherzer in this situation. What will you prioritize, Scherzer in cash, or will you say, nah, I'm going to get some bats?
I'm prioritizing Scherzer in cash, especially when we don't have like an amazing SB2 option, and I don't want to sacrifice paying for bats and then take a negative for my pitching or fall for some really ugly options, especially when Scherzer's in such a good spot. I mean, sometimes he's a problem with the long ball. Miami really doesn't present any power threats. Almost 40% carry to righties, and they pump out a ton of righties against you. Or, again, no left-handed threats. I see no reason to love him. I wish they didn't really damage him early in the season, because that's the only thing I'm going to hear tomorrow about how they banged him up a little bit early in the season. But listen, man, I have absolutely zero problem going right back to Scherzer tomorrow, and I will be going to him definitely.
Hey, I'm with it. I think that and that's how it's been. I think like for years now, like it's been drilled into everyone's head, no matter where you go, that you prioritize pitchers and cash. And meanwhile, in tournaments, there's like a big trend of like pitching doesn't matter. And regardless of where you stand, if you at the very least, I do think that like you in cash games, it just makes more sense to go with pitching does fucking matter and and go grab a Mad Max Scherzer when you have him there against Miami. It could, and if you're gonna fade him, do it in tournaments where you can take more risk and pay a price that maybe is too high for that particular player, but it's a really good spot, so you're gonna take a shot. So I think that makes sense, and not for nothing, but there's a couple players on your Yankees, you and probably the Wise Take Yankee fans, that aren't all that expensive. So I'm with you. I think Max Scherzer is the SP1. What about SP2 though? We got to find somebody to pair him with. Man.
Oh man,
he's down and dirty.
This is when it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Whew. I said two pre-show too. I wish Cortez was still up, because Chad Green opening, they've been absolutely dynamic going with Chad Green opening into Cortez behind him and do really well, and he looked great. And then they made the big mistake of sending him down when Judge got called up. I would much rather would have seen Sessa go down. And I think Sessa's going to have to be the long man tomorrow. He's 7-4 on DK, so I'm not considering that if we're only getting like 3-4 innings out of him. I'm really struggling here with you for an SB2. I can't imagine myself as a safer. I really think the lowest I want to go for SB2 cash games right now tomorrow on DK, I love, and you sold me on the two pre-show, definitely, Bumgarner, A2 against Colorado. Like when that, it's really going to be him or Flaherty, just because Flaherty has a lot more K upside, but otherwise, like that whole bottom tier presents really no K upside. The only other guys like I would ever consider are both in the regularly win games at Alzolay and Fried, and I don't want to target pitchers in cash games from that game. I think I'd much rather take the safe route here and pay up for both my pitching options tomorrow and try to find either cheaper stack that I like and put it in cash, or take some of those cheaper bats. Because like we said earlier, like even some of those bats from the Yankee game, which I'm sure is going to have at least, like they're going to have like a 6-run total at least or so, probably around 6.5 against Clayton Richard. Like Judge and Stan are only really like 4-5, and like those are the two studs you want to try to get in your lineup. Like go ahead and take some punts on some other cheaper guys, but I'm going to force to be pay up at pitching tomorrow in cash games. I'd probably go like Scherzer and Bumgarner's my SB2.
I like it, man. I really don't see anybody down low that I feel real comfortable with. And I know Mad Bum isn't like the Mad Bum that he used to be, but he's still a good pitcher, and he's at home in a phenomenal ballpark. And the Rockies right now are a team that, like, you look what Pomeranz just did. They're a team I think you might want to pick on with lefties. Their strikeout rates significantly go up against lefties. Trevor Story's been out. Ian Desmond's missed 2 games in a row. He's been dealing with an injury as well. And they're playing a lot of lefties. They have to play McMahon, Murphy, Dahl, Blackman. Like, yeah, they're good hitters, but they're also all left-handed, and there are some left-handed pitchers that do pretty well against other lefties. Mad Bum is one that historically has. We'll have to look into see how he's been doing this year. But even so, 8-2 for him. I think the Rockies like banged up right now on the road in one of in probably the worst park to hit in. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I think you're right.
And that bottom of the order is so ugly. There's so much K potential there between like, I mean, so a bunch of ugly names there. You bring the pitcher, and like the only real threat is like, I guess you want to say 1, 2, 3 behind like Blackman, Desmond, Arenado.
Right.
But then like he's been pitching really well to lefties. I get Blackman's been super hot. So like if you kind of want to take him out of the picture, like Desmond and Arenado are your 2 scary threats, but you pitch around them and you have a pretty easy way to coast to a decent score tomorrow on DK.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Sorry, I'm looking at the YouTube chat, and Paulie's in there chopping it up with the nation. And It's always funny. Always fun for those who get to watch us live and go in the chat. You never know who's going to be in the chat. Patio Joe stops in from time to time when he's on the show. Paulie D makes appearances. You never know who's going to pop in on the YouTube chat, man. But yeah, I'm with you. I think prioritizing pitching is the way to go. Because it's such a big slate, you're probably going to find something, like you said, a cheaper stack or enough value plays to make it work. Let's move on to tournament perspectives. In tournaments, does your opinion on Scherzer change a little bit?
No, I love him. Like he's by far and away my number one play tomorrow, but he's so expensive. I think the only thing that takes you away from him in tournaments a little bit is if we do want to try to jam in those expensive bats where, like, if you think the Wrigley win game is going to go off at 2, I can't really see weaker pitchers because Alzolay looks great, and Fried, he's inconsistent, but he's definitely unproven too, but he looks decent at times. But if you want to play for the wins, then I'm sure that game is going to open up with an insane total again too, at 13 mile per hour when he's blowing out. Like, you're going to have to pay down somewhere. So I mean, I don't mind trying to dive down and look for cheaper strikeout pitchers like Jack Flaherty tomorrow, where he does present some solid K upside, and he's only 8K. So maybe if you want to go down from like Bumgarner, Scherzer to like Bumgarner, Flaherty in tournaments, or I don't mind that if we're trying to prioritize like those Yankee bats and Wrigley. But who do you like here? Like, is there anyone below that 8K threshold you would like for tournaments to try to jam in those more expensive bats?
Below 8K?
Yeah.
Well, aside from Jack Flaherty, who you mentioned, he's 7'9", same difference. I'm assuming you meant lower than that. I think the only... no, man, that's the short answer. No. There's not really anybody that I'm interested in. I think Chichi Gonzalez, you can give credit to the park, and the opponent is the Giants. They're terrible. But even that, like you would want him to be like 5K. He's like 6'6", and he's not... I have to look into him. In AAA, he has not done well. This is just kind of a spot start for him, but he was not having a very good year in AAA. He has a very high ERA, very high xFIP. But I think he plays in the PSL league. I have to double check that. I always forget that stuff. Though that's the kind of stuff I always have to check daily because I always forget. But regardless, maybe we don't even have a line on that game yet. But no, I really don't see it. I think I'm more likely to come off of Scherzer in a tournament to grab some of this mid tier, I think, and use that as my way to get some of the bats I want. So I'll still need the value plays, but I'll be able to fit in like one extra stud that maybe others won't. So in cash, I'm with you. I want to prioritize pitching. But in tournaments, I think I want to prioritize the bats and the stacks. I want to make sure I get the stack that I want because there's a lot of really, really, really good stacks. And the last thing I want is on a 15-game slate where everybody's kind of spread out is to be on one of the only offenses out of like the 6 that probably go off. You know what I mean? I don't want to be on like one of the ones that don't. You know, so I'm gonna use the money to go after those teams that are expensive and all that. So I'm looking at the David Prices, the Jack Flahertys, Madison Bumgarner. I like in all formats. I think Blake Snell is kind of interesting. I know the Twins are very good, so that's kind of scary. Even Chris Bassett, the Cardinals seem like they're trying to fight out of this slump, but the bottom line is they have been in a slump. So there's a lot of guys that I think I can try to save some money with. And like to your point, Stevie, there's nobody down low, man. There's just nobody down there. So it's like, what are you gonna do? Play Scherzer and be forced to just play some super cheap shit team and like all your teams, like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, like how the hell are you gonna play Scherzer and get those expensive bats from Wrigley game, and they all pretty much all expensive outside like Almora or like you want to take a shot like Markakis and hope each goes yard McCann or something like that, but.
In cash, there's enough of those like one-offs you can grab from some of those big games. Like Kyle Schwarber is like 4,100. I know it's lefty on lefty, but assuming he's leading off, like that's a really good price to get exposure to that environment. So like in cash, yes, I agree with you. But in tournaments, I do think it's kind of interesting to look at how deep this mid tier is and try to find somewhere to live amongst this mid tier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Sablzano from the mid tier. You know what it is. Been here long enough.
What we're gonna have to do is find a cheap stack to make these expensive pitching work in cash games too, or even in tournaments if you want to play a lot of expensive pitching. Like there has to be some cheap stack to make this all work. But I'm looking down these lists now, just kind of getting off more towards bats.
It's
I
the
don't know
same
how.
thing. I was like naturally talking about the bats. Like, let me hear you drop a sale.
I can't, bro. I can't see it. There's no chance I could.
Don't tell me you can't
I'll
drop
learn one day.
sales.
Maybe next time before we go into slate, we'll have a little lesson on how to say that.
Tutorial. All right,
Tutorial.
we'll do a tutorial for you, and then we'll do one for the nation. This way, anybody out there, part of the nation,
That'll be the next strategy show.
Yeah. We'll do that too. But anyway, definitely want to be dropping sales sooner rather than later. I'm just saying. Anyway, let's talk about stacks. Stevie, talk to me about some of the offenses that stand out, bro.
I mean, I think we said 3 already. First one's going to be obviously Yankees, and then both part of Wrigley, the Braves and the Cubs. They're all expensive, but there's some cheaper pieces from the Yankees I like. You can go down to the bottom of the order with like Didi and Aaron Hicks, where Didi's only 3.7, Hicks is only 4K. Can try to wrap that stack around where LeMay is a little expensive, but then you can chase some power between like Judge, Voit, or Stanton. I mean, anyone in that lineup, they're versing Clayton Richard. I'm telling you, the run line's going to open up around like 6'2", 6'3" or so. They all have home run potential. We haven't really seen it much from Didi as of late, at least, but even Hicks has it, and I don't mind taking any piece of that lineup tomorrow against Clayton Richard.
Yeah, man, I'm with you. I think the Yankees are definitely one of these standout offenses. They're very expensive, and that's like what makes the mid tier so appealing. I think you've got like the expensive guys are like LeMahieu, Gleyber Torres, and for good reason. These guys have been on fire. E5, but like you have Giancarlo Stanton at 4.6. You've got Judge at 4.7. Those are the cheap guys. They're cheaper than Luke Voit, which to me makes no sense. I think Voit got a double today. That's the kind of world it's been for Luke Voit lately. But I do think that the Yankees as a stack are very, very, very appealing. You know what I'm saying? You gotta drop the emphasis on it, Stevie. You gotta make them. You gotta lead them into it. Appealing. Like quasi evil.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? Quasi evil with it. But yeah, I like the Yankees. I'm with you. I don't know what the line is yet, but I'm sure they'll be projected for 1 million runs, and I'm on board for that against Clayton Richard and the Toronto bullpen, which has been terrible. Talk to me about the Padres, Stevie. So this is kind of interesting. They're expensive, not all of them, but a lot of them. Fernando Tatis is 57. Machado's 5.5. He's been red hot. Renfro's 5.4. This team. They're like losing games, but they are playing a little better offensively and putting up runs, which is like not their deal. Their bullpen, which has been really good all year, has kind of been suffering a little bit. But they're going into Baltimore, a massive park boost. It's going to be 86 degrees, 45% humidity, and the Baltimore is basically a bullpen game. It's Yacobonis, and then like I forget the other dude's name. You probably know who it is.
Josh Rogers behind him,
who's a lefty. This is a pretty right-handed, heavy-ass team. And even if not, this is the worst bullpen in the game. Let's be real. What about the Padres?
Yeah, I like the Padres a lot. Like, they do have some big righty smashers between like Machado, Renfro. I mean, Tatis has been amazing. Like, he hits for contact. He showed how crafty he is when he got that stone base from Kevin Newman catching that pop up at second. Oh my god, which is absolutely fucking amazing. I just
completely I skipped over the best part of this. Like I just said Machado, like nothing. This is Machado's return to Baltimore, bro. I just completely butchered that delivery. I just totally botched that.
Oh man, yeah,
right. Like I handed you off like this just like a sloppy ball. You know what I'm saying? Like I could have presented that so much better and so much juicier. Just like and Stevie, guess what? This is the return of Manny motherfucking Machado, who happens to be red hot. The return of Machado to Baltimore. But instead, I was just like, Machado's been hot, and I just completely made that a boring delivery. My apologies. Continue.
But yeah, I mean, like, I love Machado more. He finally has been a little hot now. San Diego's team has been pretty hot. I don't know when the last time Machado has had under 10 DKP, But he's getting pricey right up there with those Wrigley players, some of those power bats from Yankees. But I mean, he's worth the price tag. I think we're gonna catch him at lower ownership just because you're gonna see those higher totals from the other games. But as a stack as a whole, I definitely like the Padres a lot, especially we're gonna see lefty and Rogers coming out behind Yacobonis. Some Machado, Renfroe take big priority, but like Tatis is there too. Even if you want to go all the way down for like a cheaper Will Myers, I don't mind that. Team as a whole is going to be nice for stack, and I think you're going to get lower ownership on them.
Yeah, another curious spot, another spot where I want your thoughts. The Houston Astros, right? So they hit pretty well in that series against New York. Won against some good bullpen, and especially in that last game. Now they get Trevor Williams, who had one start since his return from injury, and that one start did not go very well. He struck out a lot of guys. Houston obviously very tough to strike out, but he gave up a lot of homers. I'm pretty sure he got roughed up a little bit by Detroit, which was kind of surprising. So where are you at with Houston's offense? Yordan Alvarez obviously is a monster, but he is now priced like a monster. It does look like George Springer is expected to join the lineup. Any interest in Houston at all?
Yeah, I definitely like Houston a lot. I mean, Trevor Williams always struggled to strike out lefties. Yordan Alvarez is an absolute fucking monster. Brantley too, so obviously they're going to stand out a lot too. But they're not even as expensive as some of those other top stacks, and they're holding like a 5.5 front total right now. So I'm going to love them. Even like going down to Josh Reddick, who's been hitting pretty decent too. Any part of the lineup has been doing good, and even the right-handed batters from the Astros, they've been hitting righties pretty well. I think they're all definitely fairly in play, and you can chase some more home runs from them too.
I agree. I'm going to ask about one more spot, and then I'll kind of open it up to you to talk about any other offenses you may like. But let's go back to this Wrigley game. We're projected to have 13-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to center. Today we had like 17-mile-an-hour winds, and the winds were strong. Like they did, like what's his name, Contreras hit a home run he hit it to right field, and that's where the wind was blowing, like right center, and it was just automatic. As soon as it got in the air, it went. But nobody else was able to do it, except for I think Hayward ended up hitting a home run too. Also hitting the right field. This one's blowing out to dead center, so this is going to be more of a boost to like each side. We've got Max Fried, who is I think a good pitcher overall, but definitely a pitch to contact pitcher. He doesn't get a ton of strikeouts despite having a high swinging strike rate. He's just can't seem to elevate that strikeout rate. Maybe he's not going for those punch out pitches enough. And then we have Adbert Alzolay, who was impressive in his first start and came in like a long relief type appearance and just did work, just looked awesome. Looked pretty good in AAA as well. But again, this time, Stevie, unlike last night's slate, this time nobody's really coming here. Like, not that nobody's coming here, but like there's so many other options that we talked about the Yankees. People are going to want to do that. We talked about Houston. People are going to want to do that. So this is the third situation. So I think the ownership is going to be a little bit more spread out. It won't be as concentrated as it was. What is your opinion on this game as a whole?
So I'm definitely going to target it again. I mean, first of all, it fucking owes me a lot of money after today too. Yes. But there's big wins going dead out now. We have weaker pitching here, where Fried has been pretty prone to righty power, and I don't mind taking some of those guys or any of the power bats from Chicago there. And I love playing Wilson Contreras too, just because a lot of the thing early in the season I punted catcher a lot with like players like Danny Jansen, like Martin Maldonado, players like that, and like just use that dead salary to pay up in other spots. But I'm starting to realize I think the better move now is to pay up a catcher and take the big upside plays, because like they have such a higher gap between like them and like I think usually 1, 2, 3 catchers like Gary Sanchez, Contreras, or like whoever the other top catchers are, like sometimes Grandal, have such a bigger ceiling over like the guys underneath them where they can make or break a slate. So I've been paying up a catcher a lot more. It's been working out for me. So I definitely like Contreras a lot tomorrow too.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro.
I kind of want to take a wait and see approach. Like obviously I'm gonna have a piece of this game because the huge total that we're gonna come out, and both teams have solid offenses. But he looked good, man. Like in that when he got that long stint last game, like he looked good.
I'm with it, man. He did look really good. He looked really, really good. I'm going to open it up to you, Stevie. Any other offenses? I'm sure there's a ton we could pick out, but are there any other that really stand out to you?
I mean, we have another big slate with a lot of run totals over 5. I'm gonna be trying to chasing some of these cheaper stacks tomorrow. So like the Angel stack, where some of their power lefties come in a little bit cheaper, like Cole Calhoun, Justin Borio has been falling for since the beginning of the season when it was like 1, 2, 3 Calhoun, Bohr, and Trout. Murder me, but like that cheaper A stack, I don't mind. I don't know. I'm gonna have to be hunting tomorrow and try to look for that cheaper stack that's gonna make expensive pitching work. Even the Phillies tomorrow. The Phillies have almost close to a 6-run total against like Lockett and the rest of the Mets pen. And they aren't priced up at all too. Like Remuto Segura, Bryce Harper, they're only like 4 or 5 and below. Segura and Remuto are only under 4K. So I definitely don't mind taking them if they're gonna have a run total close to 6.
Yeah. No, I get it. I feel you. I mean, we've got like the Rangers and the Tigers. I know this game is not in Arlington, but it's basically battle of like you got two terrible bullpens. Jesse Chavez, who hasn't been on that awful, but Jordan Zimmerman, right? Like, oh man, it's one of those slates where there's just so many different ways to go. It's gonna be hard to narrow it down and really grab a core. You know what I mean? Because there's just so much out there. So many different ways to drop. Sell. You know what I'm saying?
You're trying to get it out of it so bad. One day, one show, I'm gonna drop it out of nowhere. Wait for your reaction.
Yeah, you go. He's gonna blindside me with it when I'm not expecting it. You do. I'm like super pissed at something, and you'll just drop it, and I'll just be like mortally shocked. And
yeah.
like, wait, what? Like I'm feeling all different kinds of emotions right now, bro. Like, yeah. Anyway, I think that's it for the actual slate breakdown. Point being, there's a lot of different ways to go. We'll have to narrow things down tomorrow. Won't be easy, but you know, everybody's gonna have to do it. Go to war with something. Before we do the top threes cash game core, gonna remind everybody, if you haven't checked us out at wisestake.com, make sure you go over there, see what it is we do, see how we help you become a better DFS player. Get a day pass if you want to try our content out for one full day. It's $2.50. You'll get access for one full day of content, and you'll get access to all the MLB stuff. So the only thing you won't get is a Slack chat. Slack chat is for monthly members or higher. So I do recommend once you try the content, see how we help, see how we can help. That you get in there, chop it up with the nation, chop it up with the analysts. You know, do thy dirty to thy neighbor before thy neighbor do thy dirty to you. You know. Oh, Stevie, did you hear the new Why Stake Nation nickname for Gleyber Torres? You're gonna love this.
No,
you haven't heard it. I present you with
what is it?
Gleyber, do thy dirty to thy neighbor. Torres.
Was it you or Joe that made it? Because that sounds like a big
I
thing
believe
Joe
it was
would make
me,
up.
actually. I know, right? Like that does sound like a Joey one, but I'm pretty sure that was me. But yeah, that's it, baby. That's it. Gleyber, do thy dirty to thy neighbor, Torres. That is the new White Stake Nation nickname for him. So hashtag that, motherfuckers. Anyway, cash game core, Stevie. SP1, SP2s. What are we thinking? Scherzer and Bum, right? For now?
I don't think right now. I mean, from first look perspective, I can't come off them. I don't want to pay down for any of these garbage pitchers down low. Even though I do like a lot of expensive bats, but I think the safer route is to take them and try to find pick apart lineups and look for one-offs from bigger totals that are cheaper.
I'm with you, bro. I'm sorry. Patio Joe is just straight up trolling us right now, bro. He is like,
oh man, what is he saying? Let me guess. See, there's something about BVP.
Joe just came in. First of all, they're booing you for not dropping a 7, just so you know. They're booing you, Stevie.
I'm telling you, one day. Now I got to reserve it for the good time.
Now the pressure's going to be on you.
It's going to come out randomly.
They're going to harass you until you do it. Because, you know what happens is, I accidentally showed your Twitter handle on the screen, so they know where to find you on Twitter. And now they're going to tell you, yo, you better drop some 7s, man. I don't know what the big deal is. You ain't dropping no 7, man. What you mean you can't drop no 7? So I don't know. They have your Twitter, whatever they do with it, you know, Stevie Brown DFS, I think it is, you know, whatever they do with it. So Nation, do what you do. And Patio Joe's asking if I did the.
What's he saying now?
Joey's like, I think Stevie and CK compare oils before the show starts. He said, I bet there is some whey protein in that water.
Wait. Joe brought up something in the show with Cam the other night. I got a... Was it last night or... Yeah, I think it was last night's show. I think you're saying you're a big chicken dance guy. Are you a big chicken dance guy?
I don't even know what he's talking about. What chicken dance? Is there a chicken dance? I'm not a big... Maybe there's some I don't know. Joe is like a dancer and all that. I'm not. So
I heard rumor has that you're a big chicken dance
guy, man. I mean, if it's cool, probably yes. If it's like not, no, it's not me because I don't. I'm just cool. So, that's all I got. You know what it is, Joe. I don't know what chicken dance is. I gotta look that shit up because Joe sends me some weird shit sometimes. So I can't commit to anything until I fully
with
know.
him, bro. You never know. I'm scared to ask.
Yes, very afraid. But Patio Joe wants to know what the Stevie Brown BVP play of the day is.
Absolutely fucking nothing. That shit's fake. There's no BVP's a fucking myth.
I love it.
BVPers for DFS like flat earthers. Yeah, it's a cult.
Oh, so they're Kyrie Irvings, is what you're saying.
Pretty much it.
Oh, I love it. So we did the pitchers. Back to the cash game core now. Stud. Who's the stud bat?
Stud bat. I mean, I like the prices on some of those Yankees, even cheaper ones like Stanton and Judge. So pick your poison team, one of them two, or you can go right to the regular game and go for like Chris Bryant at 4.9 against Fried.
Yeah, man, I'm with that. I think getting exposure to that game in general is fine. I think Judge or Bryant make for pretty good cases. We know Bryant a lefty masher, and they're both under 5K. If you notice, Stevie obviously was into paying up at pitcher, so his studs aren't like in super stud territory. They're still in that affordable range. I like that. And what about value, bro? Anybody stand out for value?
Value. I said earlier, if you want to go, people don't like going deeper down to orders for cash game plays, but I don't mind going with the Yankees team. I don't mind going deeper down because they're going to get extra at bats from having big run totals and put up a lot of runs every day. So like Didi or Aaron Hicks at 3.7, 4K are definitely both fine for me.
Drop 7s on.
Oh man, you guys are fucking baiting me out now.
I'm gonna get you, man. I'm gonna get you. Oh no,
I would, bro. This is not just a one-way street. This is war now. I'm gonna get you when you're not expecting it.
Fair enough. Let's go with top threes now. Top three pitchers, Stevie.
Scherzer, Bumgarner, and oh man, I'll go with. I guess I'll go safe like Jack Flaherty for the cheaper price tag.
I'm with that. I like that. I'm gonna go with the same top three actually.
Joe. Chicken dance.
Chicken dance. What? How do you not know the chicken dance? Man, what you mean? CK, you're the high.
Go look at the video he tagged you in on Twitter real quick. That's you saying that you were rocking at the wedding.
Oh, let me see this. I gotta see this real quick. Oh, Joey shared it on Twitter. That was quick, man. That was quick. I tell you what, Joe, man, you act like you don't know how to use this technology stuff, man. But then you do shit like this, man. You just pull this shit out.
He had that one saved in his favorites, ready to go for this occasion too.
Oh man,
is that you, CK?
Oh my god!
Please tell me it's not.
Oh my god, man, this is like a children's dance. Is that what this is? Yeah.
I don't know, bro, but that doesn't look like no fucking child to me, and I need to confirm or deny if that's I
don't know, bro. I mean, you never know, man. I was pretty drunk last night, so there is a possibility. There was a possibility. You know what I'm saying?
Everything comes out there.
I think things do come out, whether you like them or not. Things do come out. you know.
I hate drinking, man. Like I know exactly what you're talking about too. It's like one of those things you think it's a good idea in the moment. You wake up the next day and it's like, what the fuck was I
Oh
thinking?
man, it just ruins everything for the next day. Stevie, how many fingers am I holding up?
I don't think it's. Where are you? Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm blind, bro. I
Come
can't even
on,
see
man.
that
You
far.
can see it. You can see it. Do it for the nation. Stevie, the nation wants to hear it, man. You got to drop it right now. Come on, drop it with me. 1, 2, 3, Selm. Come on.
So I can try to get the right sounding of it.
Selm. That's it. It's however it comes out of you, that's just how you say it. But Selm.
Seven. I don't know. Bro, that's not a me thing.
Do it one more time. It was cool. Do it one more time.
I'm not. Listen, it's a once in a blue moon thing. I can't. I already slaughtered it once.
Please. It was just dope. It was dope.
No way. No
Stevie
way.
the GOAT, they're saying in the chat. Stevie the GOAT, they're saying. They're pumping you up, man. You did give me one, so if you don't want to do another one, I'll let it go. I'll let you practice some. I did put you on the spot. I'll let you practice some.
Bro, now I know I'm going to be sitting in front of my camera for the next 2 hours.
What do you think we all did, man? Cash said for years that I couldn't say it right, and I just wanted to say it right. And so I sat there, bro. I sat there for hours on end, looking in the mirror, just Selm. All different kinds of ways. I tried different to saying it.
All right.
You know?
What you just did was perfect. And now at least I can go on the YouTube page tomorrow, get a nice clip, like 3-second clip, repeat it, and just maybe fall asleep to it tonight. I'm gonna wake up saying that tomorrow. It's gonna be the only thing I can say.
Exactly. And then we're gonna drop Selms on them. That's what we do. I love it. All right. Let's do. Where were we at? Top 3 stacks. Right.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna go super chalky here. Yankees, Braves, and Cubs.
I could definitely dig that. Yankees for sure. I think that we have to have a Yankee stack every day. Paulie D told me that, so I know it's true. I'm gonna go with the San Diego Padres number 2 because I believe in attacking Baltimore. I feel like it's the right thing to do on most nights. And I'm with you on the Cubbies, man. I like Fried, but I think that there's some lefty masters, and I'm with the Cubbies in the Wrigley. So let's do the dirty. Dong Watch.
I'll go Stanton.
Okay. I will go with Gary the GOAT because he didn't homer today. That means he's going to homer tomorrow. That's how that works with him.
Machado.
Okay, in the return game, I'm digging that. I will go with Hunter Renfroe. Yeah.
And then Yordan Alvarez.
Oh man, you can't go wrong with that guy. That guy just homers every day. And I will go with Glaber. What is this, Stevie? Glaber.
Do the 30 to thy neighbor.
Torres, baby. Yes. Yes. That is how we do that. My man, Stevie, with the nation. We are getting it. Winning all the money. Ship it. Winning all the money. Yes. PayPal. Me. That's an inside thing. I don't expect you to understand that. Anyway, Stevie.
I get all the time in the chat.
All the time. You don't even know, but you're like, okay, I see this all the time. Awesome. Dong Watch, Stevie. Who's going deep? Oh, no, we just did that. Wait, was that 3? Yeah, we did. All right, I got to get out of here.
We're having too good of a time on this show tonight. You want to keep it going.
It's time for us to get out of here. It's been a long last night, a long tonight. And it's time for me to get on with tomorrow. Stevie, anything in closing before we get up out of here?
No, I think it's going to be it. I can't wait to try to find that cheap stack tomorrow to hopefully make things work. But I don't know, man. It's going to be rough.
Yes, sir. I hear you. For Stevie, for myself, the entire White Steak Nation, as always, good luck.
Yeah.